welcome back to another video. Today my task is to clean out this freezer. March is the month where we usually get a lot of our meat for the year, March and April, and we have a lot of ground meat coming from Azure. Then we also have a cow coming at the end of March, and we might be picking up some pork in April or even May. We kind of pushed that one off this year. But anyway, up here I have these chicken bone packs. I got these off of Azure for making broth with, and rendering lard and making broth are definitely not preferred tasks for me. So I decided what I'm going to do, rather than pull this out every once in a while when I need to make some broth, I am going to pull it all. I'm gonna have a huge broth making marathon. I'm gonna get it all done. I'm not gonna need to make broth for the rest of the year. And this will free up our freezer space because tomorrow is Azure and it's gonna be full with that stuff tomorrow. Let's get to work. This is in our garage fridge and it is normally our drinks fridge, but I took our drinks out for now so that I can make room for this gigantic stock pot. I am making the broth inside in the Instant Pot so that it can extract as much nutrients as possible. But then I am bringing it out here and I'm going to strain it into this pot. And it's gonna take me a couple days probably to get through all of the batches in the Instant Pot. So it's just gonna sit in here until I am ready to pressure can it all. For my broth recipe, I am using the one that Homesteading Family has shared, and theirs is specifically for a gelatinous bone broth that you can drink for nutrition. So I am sort of improvising here. I'm not doing the apple cider vinegar soak overnight that they recommend. I am just making kind of a stock. The box of bones that I got has about 8 batches worth. So I'm making 6 here, and then I made a 7th one another time, and then I used the 8th one for some fresh soup the next morning. And then I just put it in the Instant Pot on the broth button for 2 hours. And this was really easy. It was a nice process and I was able to just repeat it, and it had very little hands-on time. So I'm in my garage and this is not the most aesthetically pleasing work area, but I have been bringing the broth out and pouring it through here into this container. So let's go get another batch. Alright, I'm just gonna let this finish dripping and then I'm gonna go start another batch. I am putting this in the fridge between batches. It's not just sitting here in the garage, but I do like to let it sit for maybe 30 minutes just so it cools down a little bit. It's quite chilly in the garage right now, maybe 50 degrees. So I'll put a lid on it, stick it back in the fridge as soon as it has a chance to mellow out a little bit. Good morning, everyone. It is the day that we are going to can these. It's been a couple days of collecting broth in our fridge outside. And this morning, yeah, I can still touch this. I have it all here heating up and it is hot. It is ready to be canned. So I am going to get everything set up and we are going to pressure can this. So now I'm just gonna get my canner set up. Because I have a glass cooktop stove, I do use this hot plate over here. I will link it below. I always link it just because I know that some people are also in this predicament. And I really love it. It does a great job. And then I'm gonna add this white vinegar into my pressure cooker just to decrease the scale on the sides. And I have my jars in the sink in some hot water, getting nice and warm. And then I'm also going to prepare my lids. I just soak them in hot water. I didn't always do this, but apparently you're supposed to. So, and then I just funnel it in. Each jar needs an inch of headspace. Then I just wipe the rims down with a little bit of vinegar to make sure there's no fat that will affect the seal of the lids. And I place my lids on and I put my rings on finger tight. And then everything is ready to go in the canner. Okay, so now I have this pot running. It is going to get nice and hot. We're gonna let it vent for 10 minutes, and then I think it has to process at 10 PSI for 20 minutes. I will have to double check. I have probably another 10 jars after this batch goes. This one has 20 pints in it, so we will have chicken broth for a long time. While this comes up to pressure, I just want to take a minute to say, if you are a mom and you're new to canning and it seems super overwhelming, I just want to encourage you, maybe do the first few batches alone. If you can get time to do that, make a day of it. But once you learn the technique, canning is very doable with kids underfoot, as long as you accept the fact that it's just going to take you longer, a lot longer than it would when you're alone. So you kind of learn the crucial steps, but it doesn't, once you understand all of the steps, it's really not as time sensitive as it seems at first, because things stay hot for a long time. You maybe wouldn't want to take all of your hot jars out all at once, just in case you have to step away from filling your hot jars. But once you have filled your hot jars, those jars stay hot for quite a while. It's very doable. I don't want to pressure you to can if it's not something you want to do, but if it's already something that's on your heart, let this be your encouragement that you can do it.